Alfred, you're out there on the streets quite a bit at the moment. Do you think the issues are real for people? Do you think in the discussions that you're having on the street corners and out at the public meetings that you're having, do the Pacific people actually feel that these are real issues and they're making a difference by casting a vote?
I think, just to agree with the rest of the panel, there are a lot of our people actually that still don't understand the importance. Now, a lot of them are actually voting because, first of all, if they see Pacifica people, they're voting because they want to support our Pacifica people. But there's still not really a sense of understanding. And I think, first of all, I think one of the things that to me is a challenge for us and an opportunity is that we keep being sort of relegated to issues and challenges. And now, one of the things that you did is that you started up the Dream Whānau. Now, what that did is that made people think about what are the dreams, what are the aspirations that we have, and what we don't do enough of is talking about what are our aspirations as Pacifica people. But instead, we keep talking about what's the resilience we show to addressing issues and challenges. And I think when we start to talk about our aspirations and move away from not just being advocates for the challenge and the issues, but being people who are leaders that are talking about the aspirations for our people, that becomes compelling. Because it means the fact is that we're here not just to face issues, but we're here to also fulfill the dreams of our parents, the reasons why we came here. And often they say this, for good education. That's the reason why we're forced into education. So, but forced with a good sense, because what it was for a better future and a better hope. We don't often use enough of those values or talk about that. And then what does that dream look like? And you've had this Dream Whānau coming in. My son went to that. When he came back, he started dreaming about the possibilities of what he could be and what he could do. And when we have that, then that's the basis of the reasons why we exist in our communities. And then the issues are the challenges that we face that when we're trying to live out those dreams and those aspirations. So to me, I think we need to change the language. And the point is that here's an opportunity, here's an aspiration and a dream to be able to be part of shaping. And now here's the second point. I think there's an opportunity here with the local boards in particular. So, when they were talking about the regional issue versus the local issues, local boards have a great opportunity to shape the way their boards work and effective with community. I love that sort of gambling ad where, in the Otara market, with the mum stands up and goes, look what we've done. He said, we didn't like gambling, or we didn't like the pokie machines. So what did we do? It was a very simple ad, but what actually she showed to us was that by being proactive, you can make a difference. Now, what we need to do is not just be able to change what we do so that we become anything other than Pacifica. I think we need to, first of all, absolutely understand how the system works, but bring the best of Pacifica to address the issue. So how do we do that? We're basically the best people at knowing how to mobilize our communities. I mean, we can do things en masse. And here's an interesting, I spoke to a political analyst, and he said this, the leaders of the future for our nation are Pacifica people. And I asked them, what's the reasons for you saying that? And he said, is this, because Pacifica people can mobilize like no other people at the moment. We can be able to, when we create a cause, our people will rally around. We've got great examples of the hepatitis B immunisation plan, in which we just basically were topping any other ethnic groups and being able to respond as a community. I think that we should bring the best of Pacifica, not only to address Pacifica issues, but I think we should be influencing the way that our communities and our city as a whole responds to the challenges that we face, and also to lives out the dreams and aspirations of our community. Who knows, maybe a Dream Whānau for the city.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great. And if you're watching at home, we need the funding. Can I stay with you for just a minute? When I was reading through your bio, I think one of the challenges that I picked up, and you talk a bit about understanding, what does it mean to this whole vote system, this whole democratic process. And I think one of the challenges that sort of came through in your bio was the whole thing around standing for citizens and ratepayers, because there's often this belief that all Pacific people vote Labour or whatever. How's it been for you, though, around this idea of understanding, a progressing idea of understanding the issues over and above committing to a party that's traditionally been the party people have voted for? Do you see where I'm going with the question?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I was waiting for it.
Yeah. That's all right. We got it here live tonight.
Look, I'll answer this with a story. In Glen Innes, I had a call from Mrs. Ikele. She's 84 years old. She's a Niuean matua of ours. And she called me up, so I went over to have a cup of tea with her. But when she calls, it's not just to give me a bag of lemons and grapefruit. I know she wants to ask me something. So I sat there in her lounge and she said to me, Alfred, we've been here since 1950. My husband fought in the Second World War. And she said that since 1952, we've always voted Labour. In fact, in that seat sat Bob Tizard, David Longy and Helen Clark. And she said, but today I'm changing my vote for the first time. And I said, oh, so what are you doing? I'm voting for you. And, you know, it humbles me to think that she would want to do that. I said, Mama, why are you doing that? Because it's not just about the party, but it's about the person. And I'm wanting to know that you will do the best for us. And I think one of the things is that as Pacifica people, sometimes we are boxed into a certain way, that we should only be one way or the other. Look, one of the things that I absolutely believe that's important is about taking the opportunity to not only talk about, like I said, the issues, but what are the opportunities for us. I think we don't talk enough about prosperity as Pacifica people, economic development. Those issues are not the issues that we often traditionally are actually strong in. And in fact, one of the articles talked about that with a growing Pacifica population, even the businesses of Auckland aren't preparing themselves or gearing themselves to respond to that. But also too, in a lot of those businesses, they don't have Pacifica in those senior management positions. Why? Because again, we're not thought of that we would be strong in those positions. So to me, by standing for CNR, it's also reshaping CNR. I think there's an opportunity there to be able to do that. I'm not here to brown a party, so it's not to bring the brown to the blue. I'm clearly about standing for a position for the community that's there, bringing again the best of Pacifica into mainstream, and I think reshaping an opportunity for our people.
Awesome. Because the same could probably almost be said about ABC, Bessie, or that there's people who, you know, that it's this whole our growing understanding of political activity in the country. And, you know, I guess being a Manukau resident myself, you know, I've seen heaps of brown people standing, and now there's even more. I see ABC posters on when I'm driving down the road to work. Are you of the same opinion that Alfred's just shared around we don't always have to stay to a particular group, we can actually start self-determining what our own voices
absolutely, are? Absolutely. I mean, you know, we have CNR, we have Labour, and now we have ABC, and it was all about was all about having another choice. It wasn't about don't vote for Labour, don't vote for National, but it was just having another option, having another choice, and it was definitely what Alfred said about the people, you know, and we just happened to be all Pacific people around ABC. We didn't plan it that way, but you know, as we know, Pacific people come together in lots of different ways, and we tend to come together, especially in Manukau, especially in Otara and Manurewa and Papatoetoe. So it's definitely, it was around looking at where we can serve our people, what we can do, you know, what can we do to make sure that our people's voices heard. And you know, we've got Rosie Brown and Te Pou Manapōuri. Now, they've been in local government for over 30 years, you know, each of them. And so we had pioneers in ABC who've been there, done that, but also looking at what they can do as well. Still in their, I think both of them are in their 60s, but still got that passion and that fire. Then we've got the young ones, like myself, first time running, you know, green as a cucumber around anything, politics or local government, but just me wanting to actually have a voice and wanting to be able to say, okay, let me have an opportunity to make a difference. And I'm not standing on my own. I've got my whole community behind me, my parents, my grandparents, my village, my church, my whole community, my whole South Auckland community behind me. So I definitely look at, it's not about party lines, but it's about the people, and the people who have not just the passion but the skill set to do the job. Yeah. So.
Good. And I like the point you make about it's the younger people like yourself with an opportunity to stand for politics.
Oh, thank you.